I typed it in Google, how many podcasts make it to the 200 episodes? Only 2.35% make it to 200 episodes. Isn't that crazy? I think we get somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 downloads a month. And that's not just in one industry, that's across the board. And I'm thinking, dude, we're only in the tire industry. Welcome to the Gain Traction Podcast, the official podcast for tire business. I am Mike Edge, your host, and I have the privilege of interviewing the tire dealers, shop owners, counter sales reps, technicians, industry executives, and other thought leaders of our industry. This episode is brought to you by Tread Partners. Tread Partners is the leading digital marketing agency that specializes in digital marketing for multi-location tire and auto repair shops. Tread Partners works with clients that have hundreds of locations down to 5 locations. Get a professional, unbiased opinion and let Tread Partners review what you're doing. It starts with a simple conversation. To contact Tread Partners, visit treadpartners.com. So let's get started. Hey folks, welcome to the 200th recording of the Gain Traction Podcast, the official podcast for tire business. My guest today has been one of our biggest supporters through the years, and he was a guest years ago. It's none other than the legend himself, Sonny McDonald, the National Director of Training at Toyo Tires USA. Sonny, welcome back to the Gain Traction Podcast.
Mike, you have no idea how excited I've been for this podcast. I mean, think about it. This is a milestone for you, is it not?
It is. It's huge. And what's so funny is you caught me off guard today. Your little background there, I was not prepared for. You're always so creative and think of others, so I really appreciate it.
No, I love it. I've been looking forward to it. I had a cake and some other things coming, but you know, you told me I had 25 minutes or, you know.
Listen, I got to tell you, out of so many people, and we've had a lot of great guests, but you've always stayed in touch and you always send me a name or two of somebody you think would be a great guest. And you've always had fun kind of doing that. And I've had fun interviewing a lot of guests that you've introduced to me. I mean, and it's been wide ranging, you know, tire shop owners, wheel people, you name it. I've had 2 wheel people on here because of you, I think. And then just a wide range of people. But yeah, you've been a great supporter and you made a lot of fun. So I appreciate it. And I love when we're at the same conferences. That's been a lot of good times too.
No, we've had a lot of great times. And believe me, Mike, you know, the people that I always like to recommend to you are always like the industry best, the leaders. Oh, yeah. And I know, like yourself, why you've been so successful over the years is the fact that you like to bring in different viewpoints. Okay. You know, I could bring in a wheel company. I could bring in a parts supplier. I could bring in somebody who actually owns a tire store. So you bring in a whole diversity of different types of guests with different kinds of backgrounds. It keeps it interesting. And you're always getting a different perspective on how people started and how they look at things and how they treat our industry.
Well, you know, somebody asked me what's the goal of the podcast one time, and there's been multiple goals, but I think ultimately it's we want to elevate the brands of the industry and the people behind them and have fun doing it and not talk technical all the time. You know, they do that every day. So let's just talk about the fun stuff. And in generalities, I like to be an advocate in the industry. So like we're real big on right to repair, you know, so we've had Tia on here multiple times. We've had SEMA on here, you know, they're executives, and we want to promote the industry and we want the people in the industry to benefit from the podcast. But along the way, we want it to be, you know, it's not overly long. It's 25, 30 minutes, have fun, get to know somebody in the industry you've heard of or never encountered, pay me personally, but you've heard of, and you get to know them a little bit better through the, you know, the Q&A we do here and just have a good time at the same time.
Yeah, right. And again, you know, it's just so remarkable because everybody that you bring on, I mean, you know, people think our business is kind of complex, but really what it comes down to, don't you think all of us, we're still in the people business, are we not? Yeah. I mean, that was the number one thing. If people trust you, they're going to buy from you or they're going to do business with you. And that's what we've developed. And all of your guests and all of us have that same goal. It's the end of the day, it's taking care of the customer, whether it's the direct customer, whether it's our wholesale, whether it's a retail customer. We always want to make sure at the end of the day, we treat everybody like we wanted to be treated. And that's
100%.
And you bring out that magic out of everybody. You hear their stories. You know, you hear about how people bring out, you know, what we do differently to bring in those customers. Because at the end of the day, Mike, you know, everybody's got product, right? Yeah. Everybody's selling tires. Everybody's selling brakes. Everybody's selling this and that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the person behind the counter And that person behind the counter gets their influence from how it's managed at the top, because it's a corporate feeling, isn't it? So,
Oh, 100%.
yep.
Yes, 100%. No, and I think you and I love this industry because we're people. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Me and you just like to engage people, and we like to hear their stories. I love learning about people. I don't even care. Like, what's it's interesting. People ask me, what do you like to watch? I'm a biography guy. I'll watch anything related to a documentary or biography, and I don't even have to like the person, like, to be intrigued by them. I mean, it could be a villain in history. I just want to know what made them tick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, it sounds crazy, but sometimes you ever get to where you'll watch that. Did you ever see that series on the Iceman, the guy that was the serial killer?
Oh, no,
It's not
not
like I like the guy, but I was like,
right.
what makes this dude tick?
Oh, right.
And he was a mob hitman and everything.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. A documentary. It's like, then there's a lot that I like. I mean, if there's somebody or band that I want to, it was really cool. I like documentaries, like I said, but one of the coolest ones I ever saw was on the Eagles and their
Yep.
founding.
Yes.
Don Fry and
Glenn Fry and all them.
Glenn
Yes.
Fry and Don Henley.
Yep.
And what was so funny is I didn't know how they met. This is a good trivia question if you ever need this one.
Okay.
They both played drummer. One of them played drummer. Don Henley played drummer, and Glenn Fry was guitarist for Linda Ronstadt.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, there's a little history I did not know. So.
And that's how they came together. I mean, who would have thought? And then they knew they had chemistry, and they started the Eagles. And it might have been one of the most successful bands, obviously, of all time. But I like stuff like that. So, like, going down rabbit holes like that with people on here, guests, and we get to talk about different things. Yeah, it's fun. But it's also fun to stay on the industry and talk about like Toyo Tire and you guys and what you got going on.
Well, Mike, with all that, history and that kind of that background and the mystery and everything, let's talk about Mike Edge's first podcast. Come on. We want to know where with ground zero for this. Come on now.
All right. This is funny. I had a feeling that you were going to do some of this to me because you said I'm going to flip the script a little bit. So I took a couple notes. We started in June 17th of 2021. So it's over 4 years and a few months now, which is crazy. My first guest was the first person I actually interviewed was a gentleman named Bill Snow with Red Air. It's a shop of 10 stores up in Cleveland. I interviewed him July 19th, 2021. The first couple episodes were actually done by our founders, Neil and Dave. They just, had this idea and everything. They wanted to start the podcast. Then as I got involved, we traded off guest, and I'm looking here. Oh, and you were my 88th guest. You were the 88th episode. And you know what date that was that aired? June 7th, 2023. That was over 2 years ago, dude.
Exactly. So wow.
How crazy is that? The other thing I looked up was I thought this was interesting. I just wanted to know. I never really considered this because you were like, hey, this 200th is a big deal. And then you were telling me, when I asked you to be on as my 200th guest, you were like, let's promote it. Well, I thought, okay, well, what does 200 mean in the podcast world? I had no idea, but I typed it in Google, and you know how Google gives you the AI answer now, like in a paragraph, and they'll break down different little bullet points. How many podcasts make it to the 200 episodes? Only 2.35% make it to 200 episodes. Isn't that crazy? I never would have thought that, dude. I mean, so I'm like, okay, we have done something right.
You did. Come on. That's worth celebrating, Mike. I mean, look at that. I mean,
That's awesome. No, it is. It's really cool. And I never considered it until I knew you were going to flip the script on me a little bit. And I thought, well, okay, what does this mean? Where do we rank in that type of thing? And then the other thing I looked up in the past that was really cool is I think we get somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 downloads a month. Well, and those things are hard to track, whatever. But that alone puts you in the top like 5% of operating podcasts. And that's not just in one industry, that's across the board. And I'm thinking, dude, we're only in the tire industry, but it's fun to know that that many people within our industry enjoy the podcast.
Well, and that's also a testament to you and your entire team, is it not? I mean,
Oh,
you put
our
together
team is our team is
quality.
awesome.
Yeah, it's about teamwork. I mean, me and you can do what we do, right? But even I need help from my team at Team Toyo. I need expert. I always reach out to them, our marketing, our technical. I mean, I'm always looking for somebody to say, hey, listen, what can I do better? Where can I go? Where can we take this? And we rely on each other as a team. And just like you guys, Mike, your team, you've done a fantastic job of look how you've evolved and look where you're at now and everything else. And look at the guests you bring in. I mean, it's all teamwork. We wish we could do it all by ourselves, but we know we can't. So
I love the way you bring that up, because my team, I mean, when I say they do everything, I'm listen, this is a face only a mother could love, trust me. But I do enjoy talking to people, but the rest of it, y'all are gonna have to put it together. I don't, it drives me crazy to get involved in the technical, and they slice it up and dice it and clean it up and all that good stuff. And we have May on our team. We have Dave, Neil, Kirk. I'm just trying to mention a few of them that are directly involved all the time. But yeah, without those guys, yeah, none of it works.
So speaking of maybe interesting moments in your podcast career, can you name some that kind of like, wow, or I didn't know this, or kind of like just something that maybe, you have one of those moments where you always remember, like something from a guest or something that always sticks with you, maybe something funny, maybe something serious, but just something that kind of just said was a turning point for you and said, this is why I love to do what I do. You have those moments.
I'll say one of them happened recently. Had Mike Spagnola on. He's the president of SEMA. Okay. Had him back in the spring, I think. You just get the impression that SEMA's a big show, right? I mean, it's a big organization and whatnot. And you just think, I don't know, it's our personality that we always think that the bigger the organization, the stuffier it is at the top. It just, by nature, we think like Mike and I could hang out and drink beer. I mean, like, he was just, really cool. And you could tell why the organization's successful, and he's a real people guy. Another one's your boss, Mike Graber. I remember when he was on here, I had him on, and you guys, I thought it's cool because my boys really like the UFC. I mean, they follow it constantly.
Yes.
And you guys are a sponsor in the UFC, and you got the big, you're on the ring, but you've been there for a long time. And one of the things I thought was cool, I told Mike this when we did our podcast. He said, we've had that relationship a long time, and Dana's been very loyal to us, and we've been very loyal to the UFC. Yes. But he goes, there's a lot of people that probably want that spot, but because we were there in the beginning, we're still there. And he said, and that's what I love about it, is that, we're still connected there. But the other thing that, one of those aha moments was, Mike's president of Toyo Tires USA. And one of the coolest things he said was, I love this industry, and I left it and I came back to it, and then, had several positions or whatever. And I'm here where I'm at today. But what I love most about it is it's not corporate-y. And now you're talking to a guy that is president of a large corporation, and he likes it because it's not corporate-y. I like that about Mike, and I like that about our industry as a whole comes off that way. And the people in the industry, we're all in it, to do our thing, make money, and support our families and our communities and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think the industry as a whole is well grounded. So those are two examples that really kind of stood out to me of just people that like people, and it just at all levels, and they kind of affirm that to me, that we're in it for the people.
Like you said, I've always told you, Toyo is a very small organization. We're like the little Navy SEALs. That's what we do. I mean, we get the job done. We get it done with a few of the best people in the industry. There's no question about it. And one of the things I've always told you about the open communication at Toyo is the fact that I can actually call Mike Graber anytime and he'll pick up the phone. Here you are saying, ask most people, can you call the CEO of your company? And, it's just ask for advice. I can call, our vice president, which is Mike Snyder. We've been friends for over 23 years, but yet I can make those calls, and that's
Yeah.
what's great about our organization is that we are a complete team. We work together, we recognize what we need, and we have one goal in mind is take care of the customer and obviously offer the best products in the industry. So
No, and that's what's cool about it, the industry, and that you asked me something. You mentioned something else, a funny story. I got to tell you, your funny story was one of the best. When you were
awesome.
18, you and I asked you if you had a funny story. That's one of the few I remember really well, because your wheel fell off your car.
And here I am, was supposed to be a tire tech. And I told you I had people waiting outside watching this whole episode happen.
I know, and it's your car, and it's not like you could go, "Hey, we're going to take care of your car better than we do our own."
Still one of those classic moments. Hey,
Oh, that was
so
that was priceless. The other one that made me laugh, and I mean, I'm just going off memory here, but
Yeah.
do you know Walter Liebeck with Point S?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
His funny story goes, does it have to be tire related? I said, no, whatever. And he said, well, I was interviewing for a job one time. I think he was going for CFO of a company, small manufacturing group or something. And he said, when he was in the interview, he said, I'm sitting at one of these tables that were actually kind of cut low where you could see my midsection more than normal. It's not like it was up to my waistline or belly or whatever. And he said, so you could kind of see my pants. He said, and they were asking me questions. I'm at a panel. There's 3 people on the other side of the table, and I'm on this side. And he said, you're trying to answer. You look down, and he goes, and then all of a sudden I had this panic moment. He said, my zipper's undone, and I'm wearing dark pants, and a white shirt's popping through.
Oh boy, that would be. Well,
and he said this on the podcast, but the best was the way he described it. This is just total. He's president of Point S Tire, and he goes, well, he said, here's the way your brain goes. It just split in half. All of a sudden, 50% of my brain is trying to figure out, what do I do now? Do I go to zip it and clean it up, or do I just continue to answer the question while I'm talking and trying to answer this question? And every guy's gone through that before. Anyway, I said, so I remember asking, I said, so what'd you do? He said, I zipped up. I did it. And I didn't ignore it, whatever. And he said, but a year later, I asked those 3 people, because I still work for that company, did you guys remember that in the interview? Because they didn't even remember it. He said, that was what's the crazy part. Your brain goes into panic mode about a lot of things in life.
Right.
Like, but anyway, it was just one of those funny stories.
Well, it was funny you brought that, Mike, because obviously we all had to be taught how to recommunicate, obviously during COVID. And a lot of it was through, Microsoft Teams and Zooms and other things. And we weren't used to sitting there and having a camera on us. So, so I think it was a learning curve for a lot of people. They realized, oh my gosh, I'm on camera. It's always like, they tell you there's always cameras watching everywhere. Be careful nowadays,
Oh yeah.
You really do. And then you make those compromising, and then you're like, yeah, you're right. Like, what do I do? Do I ignore it? Do I act like it didn't happen or it's not happening? So you kind of play through it. So.
It's insane the way we got to think today. And I mean, you think about this, like, you and I are about the same age, and we grew up when, hey man, you could have fun and nobody had a video camera on you.
No.
And I'm so thankful for that, right? Because golly, it would suck to be a kid today and know that a camera could somebody could be pulling something out all the time, taking your picture.
Or somebody posting something, hey, we're having a big party here. And then all of a sudden it's posted on social media. And then you have law enforcement show, how to go. It's like, sometimes, like I said, you just don't think about those consequences. We never had to worry about that, So
it was just go have fun, right? And then worry about the consequences.
Fun, let's go cruising on the strip on Saturday night, with our cars and just have fun, But
that's good stuff.
So Mike,
yeah, what else you got for me?
Mike, I'm going to tell you something. You got to be excited about SEMA coming up, right?
Yeah.
You told me. Tell us the good news. You're going to have a booth there. You're going to have special guests. I mean, SEMA, we all know, is the pinnacle. It is the World Cup of our industry. There's no question about it. People come from all over the world because SEMA is the best organization in the industry to bring everybody together, for whether you're an enthusiast, aftermarket, just love being in the automotive industry. I mean, it's the whole thing. And you're right. They've done a great job, and now you're part of it. And I want to hear how that happened and how excited you are and what we could see.
So we're part of, we're going to be in the tire business booth. Tire business is the leading publication in our industry. It's just,
Absolutely.
they're big. They've been around a while. They come out with all these special reports that we all like to look at every year. And being part of their team, we're going to be in their booth this year, and everybody that we interview will come to the booth. We'll have, the headsets, the microphone, just like I'm using right here. And, we're going to have fun. I mean, and they're short interviews. We're just going to, get a feel for what people are experiencing at SEMA. And also we want to promote SEMA. I think one of the things I want to see is that more people from our industry show up at South Hall and not just for themselves, but for the networking aspect, because I just recently, I think it aired yesterday, Tom Gattuso, the vice president of events for SEMA, I interviewed him, and he said, SEMA's more than just the show, all the cars, all the cool stuff, all the equipment, everything you see here is great. But he goes, at the end of the day, this is a people event where people network and they do business at SEMA, and I think that's important to remember. And so I want my people in my industry to come to SEMA and then introduce yourself to me and say, hey, I've listened to your podcast or whatever, and let's get to know each other. Let's have some fun and network. And one of the other things I love about being in the podcast spot, never saw this coming, was that when people talk to us, they'll realize, oh, you had a guest on that I really want to meet. He said something that really resonated. Is there a way that would you introduce me? And I'm like, well, yeah, absolutely. That's what I love being a conduit in our industry to make introductions and make people just go make money or have an opportunity to do something together. Or maybe this guy can help you improve something that he does on the West Coast. You're on the East Coast. You don't necessarily compete, but you're both tire dealers. You know what I'm saying? That's fun. But yeah, SEMA, awesome place. Tire business booth. We'll be in their booth. It's on the lower South Hall.
Yep. Always a great spot too. And in between the North and South Hall, I always like to plug this, our Treadpass, the world famous Treadpass by Toyo, which
listen, if you guys haven't, if you people have never been to SEMA, or let's say you haven't been between the South Hall and Central Hall and where Treadpass is, Lord of mercy, that thing is, you guys have one of the coolest setups, bar none. It is awesome to go there.
Yeah, we are so excited. I mean, all of our builds are always world premieres, which are great. So these are vehicles that you're going to see for the first time only at SEMA. So our enthusiasts, our diehard Toyo people, they work hard, they put their blood, sweat, and tears into the vehicles. And for them to be able to showcase it on a platform like SEMA, again, the World Cup of any industry right here is something spectacular. We're always excited about it. Our team does a great job with it. Stan Chen, Tim Shaney, Adrian, and all of our team, everybody does a great job on putting the show together for us. And we're really excited. And again, it's just seeing the people's faces, isn't it? I mean, they walk around and they take pictures and they look at vehicles and they go, wow, maybe I want to do that to mine, or they get ideas, and that's what we do best.
How many of those do you guys, how many cars do you typically have in your booth space there?
Somewhere between 25 to 30 normally.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And every year we've always pulled off at least one or two winners, overall winners in some type of a category. So it's a testament to the enthusiasm of those people who build the products and the reason why we make tires people love. So
I love your slogan. Well, yeah. So if you guys make it to SEMA, those that are listening, tell them again where they can find you between the South Hall and Central Hall, right?
Right in between there. It's called the Treadpass. You cannot miss it. It is showstopper. So
it is. You gotta, and when you're going between the two buildings, if you don't go on the, the front side of the building, you have to pass through the Treadpass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, which makes it kind of nice for us too.
Absolutely. Well, Sonny, I can't thank you enough for being on the podcast. I mean, and doing your little background. I can't believe you did that. I mean, you crack me up. You've always been a great supporter, and I appreciate it. And I'm intended to do one of our 5-minute interviews with you out at SEMA. So
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to seeing you out there,
Mike. Of course, I always have my coveted thing that you got me. I know it's kind of hard to see, but that's right behind my counter, right behind my desk all the time, my friend.
Awesome.
So I am so proud to be with you. I'm so happy for your 200 to you and your team. Looking forward to the next 200, right?
Amen, brother. Amen. And we'll have you back. Hey, always a pleasure. Thank you for being such a supporter, and thanks for the background. You're awesome.
Oh, Mike, thank you very much. All right. I'll see you at SEMA, my friend. Okay.
Awesome. All right. There you go. To all our listeners out there, thank you for being a support, always supporting us and going through 200 episodes with us. And we'll see you next time.
All right. See ya.
To all our listeners, thank you for being part of the Gain Traction Podcast. We are grateful for you. If you'd like to find more podcasts like this, please visit gaintractionpodcast.com. If you'd like to make a guest recommendation, please email me at mike@treadpartners.com. This episode has been powered by Tread Partners, the leader in digital marketing for multi-location tire and auto repair shops. To learn more about Tread Partners, visit treadpartners.com.